The Belleville Area District Library Board meeting for January 2026 will please come to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We come together tonight a little bit, well, a lot heavy-hearted. We are missing one of our own, missing one of our members and our one of our officers, our secretary. We all mourn the loss of Alma Hughes Grubbs, a sweeter colleague you could never find. And I would like to ask for us to start our meeting just with a moment of silence to give honor to Alma. Thank you. Thank you. We will move forward. As you know, Alma has been the one to call the roll for all this time, but I'm going to ask Joy if she would do the honors tonight.
I'm here. Fleming.
Here.
Jackson Smith.
Here.
Peters.
Here.
Priest. Here. Student.
Here. Everyone is present. Before we start a new year, we have to reorganize ourselves. We have to organize with our officers, and clearly we're going to have to make a change in our slate of officers. If there's readiness to make the motion, and then we can discuss after that.
Madam Chair.
I call on Maria.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to make the following nomination for the executive chair of the Belleville Area District Library Board of Trustees. I would like to nominate our director, Sharon Peters, as the chair, Linda Priest as the vice or co-chair, George Kevitz as the secretary, and Tanya Studemeyer as the treasurer of the executive committee.
There have been 4 nominations properly made. Is there a second?
Second that.
Supported by Fleming. Moved by Jackson Smith, supported by Fleming. Conveniently, we all sat in a row to keep up. Is there any discussion? There's certainly, if anybody has a deep desire to serve, or if you have any comments before I call for the vote. And do we have to do a roll call vote for this, or can we can do a voice vote, which I'm really good on voice votes. I'm very bad on roll call. Seeing no interest in speaking, I call for the vote on the motion. All those in favor for the motion for the slate of officers, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed by saying no. We have no negative votes, and the motion carries, and thank you. We are ready to do business for 2026, and happy to have my colleagues serve. And we can now move on to approving our agenda. You have the agenda in front of you. We can take a motion and we can amend the agenda if we need to.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda for January 13th, 2026.
It's been moved by Priest, supported by Studemeyer, that we approve the agenda for this meeting.
And before we move forward, thank all of you.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the motion and for the vote of confidence. The agenda, anybody have anything that they need to add to the agenda or change, or did we make any mistakes? If any eagle eye could fix the mistakes now, that would be great. All those in favor of approval of the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by saying no? There are no negative votes. The agenda is approved unanimously. And we now next move, and this is regular business, we move to our minutes for the meeting of December 9th. So that was all the way last year.
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Chehevitz and supported by Priest that the minutes be approved as presented. We can hold a minute if anybody wants to look over them. It's a good thing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying no. The minutes have been approved. And the major, I'll just mention that the major item on the agenda last time, that was item 8, the health insurance, was a good thing we moved it because we needed to take advantage of that motion. So we had good business taken care of at the last meeting, and now we have quite a bit of business to take care of in this meeting. But before we begin our business, we can call for public comment.
I have none.
Well, but Rosemary, as usual, represents the entire public and keeps them informed on what we do. So we're glad you're here.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on it.
Somebody does.
You're retired.
We appreciate
I'm trying.
it. We need it. So we can move to, we're going to handle our business during our committee reports. So we'll move on to the committee reports. The first, let me say about committees that in light of Alma, the timing and all, I have not done any kind of assignments for committees for 2026, and we'll handle that in the February meeting. So we're going to go through, with the exception of the things Alma was doing, we're going to go through with the committee reports based on our 2025 committee assignments. So for the building committee, Joy?
I have nothing to report.
That is fine. The bylaws committee, Linda?
No report at this time.
I have a small report.
Okay.
I did contact our attorney, Ann Sarek, regarding the board bylaws to get her template. She did request a copy of the district library agreement because that informs some of the things that will be in her template. So once we get that from her, we can match what she has with what we have, and the bylaws committee can meet.
Okay.
And
Do you, when
discuss
do you
it.
kind of have no idea?
I don't know when, yeah,
Okay. So
Well,
we'll just,
but it's in process.
Okay.
She's looking
And
at it.
I'm sure we'll get some work from from the lawyers on that. That's the kind of thing they always come up with stuff on. Here I was thinking of agreement that the library agreement was passé, but they're still going to use it for our bylaws. So the next one is our biggest issue for right now for this board meeting, I believe. And that's our audit. And we are very pleased that we have two big items, but we're pleased that our treasurer is here. And I'm understanding that Mary Jo and Tanya, you've had a chance to speak about this or no? If not, I think I'll turn this over to Mary Jo.
I can start it.
Okay.
I might need a little
Alrighty.
help.
Okay.
Okay, so I did get a chance, so you all should have it in your packet. I had a chance to review it maybe an hour before I got here. But I tore it apart. So, I am very pleased to say that the best audit opinion you can have is an unmodified opinion. It's commonly known as a clean audit, and that's exactly what we have. So thank you, Mary Jo. Appreciate that. All your hard work always pays off. So going through this document, I want you to take a look at page 24. So page 24 is, because I'm not an accountant, I'm partial to the budget. So on page 24, you'll actually see our original budget, our amended budget, where our actuals are, and our variance. And to me, this is like the most important piece of this. And when you go through this document, in the end, they're only talking about this page. So it's like, let me just go straight to this page. So that's what we're gonna do here. So that first column at the top are the revenues. And it shows that the original budget for revenues was the 2.7 million. And we did make some amendments throughout the year. So it ended up being like a $2.8 million revenue budget. And we are actually, if you look at property taxes specifically, they came in higher than budget. So overall, we're better than budget by the 47,000, but that's mainly due to the property taxes.
Well, we are blessed to have you, Tanya,
And the fines and fees are down because of the,
because of this.
yeah.
mortgage month.
The fines
The
and fees are
penal
down
fine.
because we did not receive the amount from the county in a
Penal fines.
timely fashion. Yeah. So I think in the coming years, I'm just going to zero this out so that it's not a problem.
well, we're passing it back to them.
We are passing it
Yeah.
back, but we were trying to reflect it in the budget as a
As a-
income and an
in and out,
expenditure.
okay.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll cut in root, since we're talking about the penal fines.
Yep.
Cut in really quick to go to page 5.
And then we'll come back to 24, so don't lose your play.
Where it says, under liabilities, it says due to Wayne County, $71,287. That's how much we owe, and that does take into consideration the amount that of the 2025 penal fine. So they did note it there, just not on page.
That's the total we owe, right?
That's the total we owe now.
Yeah, okay.
The 71,
The original we owed was 122,734, so
Oh,
this is
okay.
We've been paying
subtracting
down.
last
Okay,
year's.
okay.
so the
Yeah.
71,287 is what we owe. Remain.
What we
Okay.
currently owe now.
forward.
And that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a-
yeah, current,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's like a 2-year dealing.
It'll probably be another 2 years, yeah.
Okay, okay, so,
If it wasn't for Wayne County, we wouldn't have any complications whatsoever.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
So those are the highlights on the revenue side. So if we look at going back to page 24, if we look at the original budget for expenditures, that total is the 2,567,177. We did amendments during the fiscal year. So our amended budget is the 2,641,177. Can't remember. Let's see if I can see right quick. I see we increased computer hardware and software. And we also made an increase for repairs and maintenance. See a small reduction in contractual services. So, and we typically make changes throughout the year in anticipation of expenses. We don't always need to, but we do just to make sure that we have enough money available. So in the next column, you'll see the actuals. And since we're also going to be talking about personnel and salary recommendations, I just want to point out the fact that on our salaries, we
Okay.
actually have a surplus
Mm.
of the $32,000.
Mm. And it's important that that's the biggest item of our expenditures. Our people are our most valuable. And then our books. And supplies.
So overall for total expenditures, we're 286, 330 better than budget. So on the next row, we actually combine those two numbers. So we're ahead on revenues by the 47,000, under budget on our expenditures by the 286. So that's the 333, 448 that you see there. And then we actually, you'll see a increase in our fund balance. So the bottom two rows, you'll see what our fund balance was the prior year. And then as of June 30th, 2025, there's a $500,000 plus increase in our fund balance. So currently have the $6.5 million fund balance. Since this is just general fund, we actually have two funds. So we also have a debt service fund. So we made our debt payment on time, and we have, I think, how many more years? A few more years of debt payment. So
2037, I believe, 2036, something like that.
Can you explain to me what that is for? Was that the cost of the library, the debt service?
That's the bond.
The bond,
The
for the
bond?
building.
Got it.
yeah,
Okay,
so it's just like the payments on the debt.
got
It's
it.
like our mortgage.
Right.
Right, okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Mhm.
We're getting there now.
If you wanted to look at that, it's actually on pretty much everything I just said is on page 6, which is amazing that on page six, they talk about that the library has the two funds, the general fund and the debt service fund. So all of these numbers that you see in this little paragraph all correspond to page 24.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I might as well just jump to page
You
24.
really make these things make sense.
Yeah, so the only thing that's not here is this information on debt service.
Okay.
So, regarding the debt service fund, maybe I'm not understanding this. Well, I'm sure I'm not understanding this. Where it says the revenue was 953,000, but the payments were 981. So our revenue did not match what we were paying.
We were trying to draw down that account a little bit, so that was by design.
Okay,
So we paid a little ahead,
okay.
like you pay on your principal a little
That's
ahead.
the payment.
In the long
Okay.
run, it'll save you some money.
Yeah, we didn't need as much money in that fund as we needed. So-
All right.
So we passed the savings on.
What a responsible group.
Usually I don't know if there are any other highlights you want to-
That's my spot. Let me see if I can do this from memory. Some of the fund balance, part of that fund balance is money that has been pushed forward for use in the following fiscal year.
Yeah.
We do that GASB motion every year during the budget.
Also on page 6. Everything's
Page
on page
six, it's on page
6.
six.
Everything is on
Okay.
page, the 1.3 million.
Yeah.
Says, yep,
Yeah.
per board resolution, 1.3 million, the fund balance has been committed to cover.
It's committed to the
26
following
budget.
year.
Okay.
I'm telling you, everything was on page 6. I was like,
Okay.
this is great.
Well
And then,
organized.
and then the 2 million also of the fund balance we have committed to use for future building needs. And then also have that contribution and donation fund that's restricted for future building needs.
But there's still enough to pay for the roof blowing off.
Oh, yeah,
The roof.
we can, yeah.
Something
Oh,
dramatic.
if something.
Yeah.
That has been here for a while. You could have
I thought
scared
you
me.
were run up there with your bees and done something.
It isn't covered by
If
insurance, though,
Yeah, well,
Those are the main things I-
Well, I love it that you can boil down this thing to
It's
two relevant
intimidating to the
pages.
average person.
Yeah, well, you know,
It's very well organized.
mhm.
I do the same thing Tanya does. I flip back to the end first, so.
Why don't they put this in the supplement? That's the best part.
I really appreciate you doing this, and I appreciate Tanya even being able to spend an hour ago, being able to spend time to look at it so she can reinforce the kind of good work that Mary Jo has been doing with the auditors.
And explaining it to folks like me,
Yeah.
who are not a numbers person. In a way I can
Any
understand.
Organizations I've ever run, the thing is a clean audit. That's, I just want to use
Yep.
those words.
Oh, the Gatsby things on the back that we have to vote on.
Do we vote on this Gatsby stuff
You
today?
you have to,
Huh?
don't have to vote on anything today.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the
For
information.
our information.
Did our actions. So this is just, we're accepting a report, and in order to accept it, we gotta understand it. I understand it a lot better now. So is this at the end? Is this the audit letter or?
No, usually it's at the beginning, I thought.
There's a letter at the beginning and at the end. The audit communication letter is at the end.
Okay.
Tell us if they didn't find anything wrong.
Results of the audit.
Hello. It's always been this cool.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
always. Right. Just the way they should be.
Yes,
That's the
right.
way we like
Squeaky.
it.
Yeah.
And I believe the Library in Michigan makes copies of these available digitally.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's on the state treasury website too.
yeah.
Mm.
So the public
Maybe it was
can
the
look
state
and-
treasury, I found it, maybe through the Library in Michigan. That was years ago.
There were no disagreements with management that arose during the course of the audit. That's always good.
Yeah, I like to see. And, you know, it's worth noting that while others are preparing for the holidays, well, you know, a whole lot of jobs, the worst time is right before the holidays, the most work you have to do. And Mary Jo is struggling along, making sure, so, you know,
Every
even
year
if
I ask
everything's
Santa
in
for the
order.
audit. Santa, let me get the audit before Christmas.
Right.
Mm.
Even when everything's in order, getting it all together and
Mhm.
putting it, you know, it's always quite a heavy lift for her, and we appreciate that.
I
But the
appreciate my
results,
staff helping out to helping pull files and.
It'd be a lot of work.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
work, yeah.
This is-
And, you know, remember we came from the little building at the back of the parking lot, and there was not as much to it as we now have, so.
Well, we used to have 3 funds when we had a construction fund too. I mean,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
it's
so
actually
it's-
got.
That's
wow.
Yeah, it's a little less complicated now.
Exactly.
In the last 5-7 years, we have done some real heavy lifting around this table. And around the little rickety table that we used to be in over there. We'd sit up until 11 o'clock at night struggling to get this stuff together.
Oh, yeah, the table's covered with tape. All the edging coming off, and there was all this tape. to
Right,
keep
we
them
couldn't,
on.
we couldn't even imagine what it would be like to sit around a real new, you know, responsible
I
looking
just
table.
remember the leaky roof.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh my God, that was awful.
And the water
Yeah.
What was that you made with the ice dam
Oh,
melting?
The luge.
The luge, that's right.
Funnel the water into the bucket.
They had all this
We had
aluminum foil
umbrellas
stuff
over
on
all
taped
the
to the
computers.
walls that make the.
Mhm.
Yeah, during the Friends meeting, you would hear drip. Funny.
Wow, we can be like, we've come a long way.
The
man.
umbrellas over the computers.
Yeah, we had quite
All
a
the
time.
good stuff you missed.
Oh,
I just remember it being so dim, you couldn't hardly even see the titles.
or trying to plug your
Yeah.
computer somewhere.
Right.
Oh,
No
I
plugs.
I
Yeah.
remember crawling around on the floor trying to find a place, because my computer, the battery would never work. I
Somebody
always had to plug it
Had
in.
to move a picture, a portrait out of
Right.
the way, go, there's a
So-
phone behind here.
Oh, Lord.
Our
Really needed to
citizens, our taxpayers got their use out of that building.
Well used, well done.
Well, good. Are there questions, other questions from the board to our treasurer or our director? Because if you ask me, you're not gonna get any kind of answer, so ask one of them.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Yes, like you
Mhm.
said.
And thank you, Tanya. Boy, see, that's what you can get a star.
An
She can
hour.
just look at it.
Just an
for
hour.
a minute and boil it down to the relevant pages that you have to look for. I'm searching through this and trying to.
This is little compared to Detroit, huh?
We appreciate you nonetheless. We
Yes,
appreciate you.
I try to make everything easier. Make it easier. If the numbers make sense, okay.
Well, very good. And thank you very much. We don't have, there's no motion to accept this. This is it.
Right.
I mean, if you want to.
No matter what we say, well, I think we reviewed it well. and
Mhm.
The minutes should reflect that it was thoroughly reviewed.
Yes.
So now we can go on to the outreach committee, and that would be Maria.
There's no report as of today.
Okay, now we have another one where we do have some work to do, and that's the personnel committee, and the personnel committee has done some work this time. Well, I will call on Linda.
Okay, so you should have in your hands the library director evaluation for the Belleville Area District Library 2025. And I'm presenting it today, January 13th, 2026. And the Belleville Area District Library Personnel Committee distributed evaluation forms to all board members in order to evaluate its director, Mary Jo Suchi, for the year 2025. The committee wants to thank all of you for taking the time to thoughtfully complete and return these forms in a timely manner in order that they could be evaluated and tabulated for this summary and review. The director was evaluated in the following areas: applied library knowledge, relationship development, leadership and management, and marketing and program development. In this evaluation, we used a scale of 1 to 6, with 6 being outstanding and 1 being unsatisfactory. The evaluations were anonymous and included a comment section for each category where members were encouraged to use specific examples, positive or negative, in order to provide feedback to Director Suchi. The completed forms were collected and tallied. We then summarized the information in order to share it with Director Suchi. The results of the evaluation showed that Director Suchi is continuing to perform her job at a very high level in all categories. The comments were overwhelmingly positive, and some mentioned examples of the director being enthusiastic and inspiring in her day-to-day tasks and interactions. It was mentioned that she is well prepared and knows her job, but also is good at delegating and encouraging workers as they go about the various tasks at the library. She stays on top of new trends in order to keep the BADL offerings fresh. We are fortunate to have such an experienced and capable director. Her staff demonstrates respect and affection for her, and they have confidence in her ability to lead them. She is also very visible in our community and a great representative for our library. It was mentioned that it might be nice to review her goals for the year on a quarterly basis as a board, and maybe even discuss them at our monthly board meetings. The Personnel Committee met with Director Suchi to discuss the results of this survey and to review the goals that she set for last year. She stated that an updated accounting system was implemented. There was also a satisfactory resolution of the Wayne County penal fines miscalculation that affected our library and other county libraries. A reassessment of staffing and workflow duties due to the retirement of 3 longtime staff members was accomplished, and she continues to facilitate the library's programs, collection development, outreach services, after-school teen engagement, and is also continuing to explore options for a library long-range strategic plan. We feel that she has made great progress on these goals and that she will continue her work in the next year. Her goals for 2026 are included in your board pack. The Personnel Committee has considered all this information and will be recommending a salary increase of 3% for Director Sushi for the year 2026. This will bring her salary to $105,705. Thank you again to all who contributed to this survey, and may we have a successful 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. We will probably want to look at the goals and look at the salary recommendation survey prior to taking action on the report of the Personnel Committee. And that was a very good, thorough report, and I just chime in to appreciate the input from board members.
I want to thank Hillary Savage for her assistance on this, and of course Tanya and another member of the committee. This is a very important thing that we do, and I really thank everyone.
Director, if I'm looking at this salary, the one that we take action on, the director handles these department heads and assistant director and all the staff. But the one we take action on is the top box, the director's box. Our recommendation for 2026 falls within the range posed here for the 2025, what has existed in the past year.
What I did on the salary recommendation document, I gave you the information for the Detroit Suburban Library Roundtable Salary Survey, the 2025 range. The average range is 84,395 entry level, and then 109,624. I did not propose a minimum and a maximum because that's, I didn't feel like that was my place. That's up to you guys to fill those in. But I give you some information to help you make your decisions.
Yes, it was very
It is helpful to, given the recommendation of the committee, it's helpful to know that we're not out of range of what other places are doing and where we fall.
So I don't know if you want to address this salary recommendation document first, if you want to plug in some numbers on this, or what you want to do.
The committee was very comfortable with what they recommended.
Okay.
So I don't feel like we have to do anything else unless anyone feels like that.
It would be good to have some, well, that's fine. When we do get to this document, it'd be good to have some kind of range to put in, just so that next year when I'm filling out that survey, I can tell them something.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're asking for a range for
Just
all
a generic range.
all of the categories?
Well, we went through, Hillary and I went through and looked at all of the different categories and made recommendations. So
Okay.
Those are the
those
proposed ones, yeah.
So
Mhm.
we
But
need
we
to
left
vote.
the very first one blank because.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. So the proposed, what you're asking us to do is look through these
So the minimum
battle
maximum.
proposed.
Minimums and
minimum
maximums, yeah.
Okay.
But then,
For you to
for you guys to
Fill in
fix
the
the
top one.
top one, yeah.
Well, and we've noted that the recommendation of the committee for the top one, for the director, does fit within the range of 2020, the current range of.
the DSLRT ones.
Right.
Not the left.
Yeah.
So with the-
Do we typically increase the max by 5%? I thought there was a percentage that we
we did talk
typically.
about that at one point.
Yep, so.
So if we did the 3% this year,
Mhm.
that would be, is that the minimum?
If you did the 3% this year,
Which was the 104,
was the 10,
105,
105,
705.
yeah.
which is a little bit higher than the 104, 580, so. That's why I'm
Oh, okay, so,
Yeah, that's why she wants like a minimum maximum to put into this
okay,
category.
if I
so
get,
what's two?
if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you'll have
We
something.
might
going
have-
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that that's going to happen, but
Very clarifying.
just think of it as a generic directive. This is like an entry level. If you had a new director coming in, this would be
Okay,
a minimum
and
and
so-
maximum range, yeah.
so the 84 on here is the minimum for 2025.
This is DSLRT, this is our
That's-
minimum right
That's
now.
our minimum right now,
Yeah.
but this is the minimum for
Yeah.
the
So-
average minimum over here.
So for example, if you wanted to say the minimum was 85,000 and the maximum was 109,000,
Yeah.
that would be a range.
That's very helpful. How do you feel about that, Tanya?
Oh, I didn't, I was.
80, she
mathing.
said 85,000 minimum.
Oh, pretty close, because
And
I'm at
then-
84,630. So what I did was, I just did 5% for the minimum and 5% for the max.
Okay, and what'd you come up with the max?
So let me do the max, so 104. Would be 109,809.
109,809.
How does that sound?
We did just
Hillary, did you have
5%.
something?
And then the
to add?
minimum was.
Well, the
do
minimum
85.
is It's
I was
85, or it can be 84,630 if you want to be exactly 5%.
84,
630.
630.
I was just going to mention that this document, the last time we updated it was in 2022.
Oh, okay.
To give you an idea of how long this kind of goes into the future, you did need to update the director and I believe the librarian upper salary last year. Because we went beyond the range that had
Okay.
been approved at
Yeah.
that point. So just to give you a clearer picture of how long this goes for.
And so if I'm looking at this right, so then if we do the 5% over the current min and max, then we're just slightly more than the average.
Okay.
Because the average is this 84,
Yeah.
395 minimum, and we're proposing 84, 630. And then the average is the 109, 624, and we're proposing 109, 809.
Is that
So-
reasonable?
Sure,
Okay,
Just keep it
good. Thank you so
easy,
much.
yep.
okay.
And then the only other thing I wanted to mention is that the current rate of inflation is 2.7. We're only giving Mary Jo 3%, but. that's all
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
what we
do.
did talk about. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
We'd like to give you more,
Yeah.
but I know you're probably only comfortable with being slightly over the rate of inflation. so.
So those are the considerations in the recommendation which you gave us. So,
Let me ask this, so as you are increasing wages with staff, are you increasing them beyond 3%?
That's what I want the answer to.
It's probably gonna be a case by case basis, depending on the job classification.
Okay.
Everybody will be making at least a 3% raise, but we might be doing some step increases as well. And we're still crunching numbers on that, so.
Are you refusing to go higher than 3%?
For.
You.
Yes.
I serve at your pleasure, so that's, I'm not gonna refuse, but.
She's
well,
strong
she's
and
moved,
suggestive.
we've got her
But
moved along a little
I-
bit.
I mean, that just keeps her flat, I mean. but
So-
This is how.
I know this is her preference.
This is what she wants.
It's my preference.
Mary
but
Jo
it's-
works
it's
really
your-
hard.
She
so-
does,
She
I
works really
agree.
hard. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We have to
but-
override her.
It would take,
What-
yeah, it wasn't
Can we
up
at
to the
least go to
personnel committee to
4%?
do that.
Thank you, Joy, because
What did you
I'm not
say?
even
Can we
comfortable
at
with
least
this.
go to 4%? I mean, we have a stellar director here.
Mhm,
And we want to keep.
we do.
And we have just looked at our budget and we have a budget that is, can handle our taking care. That's why she's so stellar. 'cause she-
And that'll ensure, that's only a slight increase above her unwillingness level.
What would that make it do?
I don't know. Tanya's got the calculator out within seconds, so. Oh, you'd have to take that 3% off, so.
Right.
I'm not good at doing that part.
Yeah,
I'm
so
mad at it, but I
anyway.
can't.
You could just do a motion with the percentage and we'll.
All right,
We'll
all
figure it
right.
out, because I would have been
Yeah.
making sure exactly.
Yeah, that way we can double check it.
What I heard was a 4%. That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing
Yeah.
seems to be a consistent around the table.
I make a motion to give Mary Jo 4%.
Second.
It's been moved by Chehavitz, seconded by Jackson Smith, that I was gonna call her Jackson Priest. but, That,
Jackson Priest Stoudemire.
right, just put it all in there. That our director receive a raise of 4% for this annual. Her annual evaluation and compensation review. And I'm hearing no other discussion. Are we ready for the vote?
Yes.
All those it's been moved and seconded, and properly made motion and supported. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. Everybody's in favor. We forced you to take no.
What's next?
Do I could do amend my report?
Yeah, roughly, I
I'm
just did
more
97%.
No,
but
that's okay. We're comfortable with that.
Could you submit that?
So you got to
It'll show up
figure that out. All
I
right.
think so.
Okay.
So roughly it's 106,635, but we'll double check it against the actual.
Good, this body has done some work today.
All right.
Now, we're not quite finished with our,
We need to wait for the
reports.
goals.
Pardon?
We don't need to.
We did this, do we need to go what? Oh, well, we would like to look at the goals. I don't, we could, yeah, we should do it now.
You attached in the board packet the 2026 goals that Mary Jo has submitted to us.
And
You can look over these and any questions about them. Quite extensive.
So the landscaping, has that contract just ended or?
When we were dealing with the boxwoods, we were just talking about it with our landscape architect about beefing up some of the things that happen with our landscaping now that everything's growing and maturing and just making sure it's
Just to
a little bit
maintain.
beefier.
Okay,
Yeah, but we want to go out for bid because we want to make sure we're looking at everything like tree trimming and things that we're not currently
Got it.
doing. So
got
it would be a good opportunity to just really look at everything with fresh eyes and go out for bid on that. So.
it. Okay,
So we want to have something in place in time for spring.
got it.
also in this first category, you will see that there is a repair staff furniture and electrical outlets. So even though we don't have to crawl around under the table or move the paintings to find electrical outlets, we still need to make sure we maintain them and keep them up to date. And we already in our new building have had electrical outlets that we've had to fix, or, so we just have to make sure.
Use furniture,
Yeah.
yeah, furniture outlets are, yeah, they're convenient, but they.
But it just goes to show that a new building remains new for only so long. Oh, my
Especially when
goodness.
it gets heavy use like this.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Well, and that's why we built it, so
Mm-hmm.
we just have to keep maintaining it. So, yeah, she mentioned to me the other day about some of the electrical outlets that need to be addressed, and makes sense, you know.
Hey, Joe, the seating on the second floor, is there an issue or?
I think now that we've been in our building for a while, we might not change a thing, but I wanna reevaluate, how the building is being used. Are there anything we could do? And this might involve having Dan and Jennifer come in from our architectural firm. Is there anything we wanna change? Do we wanna try to figure out how to make little single space study units? We don't use all of the internet workstations that we have. COVID really kind of shot that, so we could potentially repurpose that space in ways that would be more useful to our public.
Okay.
So I really wanna look at this kind of with fresh eyes and see if there are things that we can do to improve.
It's a good idea.
So, and as I said, we might decide, no, this is fine. Looking at the the quiet study room, is that working for us, or should we look at, doing different things with the furniture in there? That we have a better idea now how people are using it when they walk into the building, where they head, where they go.
I've been bringing back my walking. I used to regularly walk in here. And it's always good to do that. Anybody that does have some time to just be in the library and walk around and get a sense of how people are using it. Sometimes I stop and talk to staff members about, so that I get an idea. She just mentioned the quiet study room, so I get an idea how it's used, or whether people are in it. I, not being a morning person, I don't know so much about what happens in the library in the morning, but the afternoon, and especially the after school moments, I'm quite, and it's fulfilling its purpose up here. That's for sure. I have something on this first page, not in the building part, but in the strategic planning part. The update of the library's demographic data, I think that's a good recommendation. I remember when I was first elected, it was 2014, and we were using the 2010 census data. But it would be good to see how the community, the data about our community, because we can better serve our community. The more we know about our community, the better we can serve them. So I kind of like that idea that we would all look again at, we had an orientation when I first came on, and I know Mary Jo has given the notebooks to the members that have come since then. But I think that's really good for us to pay a lot of attention to the kind of community that we're serving, and it does change. It changes, over a decade, there are changes.
Do we not, I wonder if it's time to do like a more formal strategic plan, or maybe once you've done the demographic data.
That's what I'm kind of working up to.
Yeah.
That's what we've been looking at.
Whether we need to do that, or if we can build off of what we have.
Yeah.
Maria's been looking at that too, or kind of, that's the outreach committee has taken on, that they'll look at that. So we're building to it.
Okay, yeah, I think it's very important to get public input to that.
Basically, kind of broke this down into smaller steps that were hopefully more manageable to think about.
Yeah. Jump in, there's a goal for
Every time I talk about the strategic planning to anyone, they just kind of inwardly groan.
I roll my eyes.
So let's
What I
take small
love
bites of this.
I love about strategic is getting public input of what they want their library to be, what they love about it, if there's any tweaks we can do.
So a public session
Yeah.
and as part of our strategic planning. maybe even the little sticky note activity that people, various categories, people sometimes will write down a little short something quicker than they'll say something in a big room.
And for people who aren't using the library,
Trying to reach them.
yeah,
Yeah, which is more of a challenge.
yeah.
And then, you know, when Mary Jo talks about the computer stations and all of that, you know, sometimes they're not fully utilized, but it isn't that there aren't people in this community who really need them, who don't have computers. It's
No,
just
the
a question
world
of them, will
changed,
they
yeah.
come and use
Yeah.
them?
Well, a lot of it's the world changed after COVID. I mean, people got devices that didn't think they were gonna get devices, and they got computers, probably
And we serve-
DVDs and
We serve
Blu-rays
a
don't
lot
check
of
out
people
nearly
come in
as
with
much.
their laptops, or they come in with their phone and they wanna print something off of,
Yeah.
you know, send to our printer.
But
And truth to
computer
tell,
use
the
from the
phone can
library
do-
is much down.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because they jumped in. Streaming went way up,
Yeah.
so there's less DVD checkouts and things like that. They're needed, but not as much.
Yeah, I'm not talking about eliminating them, just,
No,
you know, we might see if we wanna downsize
yeah,
or repurpose the area so that someone can sit with their laptop instead.
yeah.
Hmm. Fascinating, but you know, the march forward in technology, which is changing all the time, and the stuff that you can do with a handheld phone, that, you know, a lot of the stuff that people had to go to a computer for, they can now do just with their phone, so they still can interact with the printer or whatever, but they don't need to.
Library card on the phone. Are you saying that the self-check and print kiosk won't be supported after 2026? What would be the new?
It'll more than likely, we'll continue with the same company, but we'll probably evaluate what's out there.
Oh, okay. That would they change, they'll change what we do now? It would
It'll
be
be-
different.
It'll be a similar thing, just
Similar,
updated technology.
So we just have to find a different,
I hope so. YDL just bought new ones last
Okay,
year, 2025.
Yeah,
the end of
I'm sure they were the new ones.
Yeah.
Are they using Envisionware?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure that'll be the easiest thing for us
Yeah.
to do, but we'll probably at least explore what's
It's
available.
hard to
Unless
keep-
it's clunky. Ours were always clunkier than yours.
Okay,
It's
so
hard
you-
to keep up.
Oh, yeah.
So you like the newer?
Change
Even my
so
own
fast.
computer.
Yeah.
I say, that's not supported after, you
Right.
know, on my
Right.
own computer.
Even some of your software. just
Yeah.
out there.
yikes.
We are implementing some new software, LibConnect. It works with our library events software. And it will do some targeted emails, targeted with electronic newsletter to people. We can also target, you know, brand new library card holders with information about what they can do with their library card. It will be an opt-in. It's not something where we're just going to, you know, blanket people with this. So, but we will be spending the first part of this year trying to implement this. It has to mesh with our shared automation system through the library network. So we've got them working on it right now.
Okay.
And so that's gonna be kind of exciting. So once we can get that going. That way people can potentially get an email when there's a program that they might be interested in.
That would be good.
The good list of community partners, that was part of what we were all commenting on in your evaluation. Your command of the community and involvement and understanding, and I think we are pretty well connected.
Part of my report, I mentioned that one of the people who participated in the survey said we might want to address these goals at some time during the year, or several times during the year, just to see how we're progressing. I thought that was kind of a good idea.
I think it
All
is,
these
too.
things are very important, and she's done a really good list of things that we want to keep our eye on. So
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea
Yeah,
too, because I know
okay.
we always look at goals and,
Mhm.
at the time of her evaluation, but
And
It
then
might
when
be a
we
good
do the
idea.
summary at the end, the personnel committee can be real informed. And, so I appreciate it.
midway through the year or
Kind of
so.
do it informally anyway, as part of your board report.
Right,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, we do with the board report,
Mhm.
which is actually soon to be the next item on the agenda. Are
I
we,
am finished.
okay?
Okay, so you get the salary range document now?
we,
Oh, okay.
We can look beyond the box that we had to vote
Yes.
on.
Okay. All right, we have, and as Hillary had mentioned, this has been 3 years since we've, majorly updated this document. So we do have some proposed minimums and maximums for all of the different job classifications, assistant director, department head, librarian, all the way through library assistant, library clerk, shelving pages. If you feel ready to, if you have questions about this, I can run through piece by piece, or if you want to have some time to digest it.
Would you like a board action on this?
I'd like board action, if, I don't know if you're ready today or not.
Just glancing at it, it looks reasonable when you compare it to the average min and max. There's nothing here that stands out.
Well, a board is
Make a
there.
recommendation, we accept them. These are fine.
I second it.
It is moved by Chehevitz and supported by Studemeyer that we approve the Belleville Area District Library salary recommendations for 2026 to give our staff guidance as they move along with our maintaining our personnel within the library.
Was there a second?
Studemeyer, time you did. So, are there other comments before we call for the vote? Seems to be readiness, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. There are no negative votes. This motion carries unanimously. And it does give the staff the wherewithal to move ahead to shape how our personnel are handled this year. So all this is our annual, it's a good packet between the goals and the salary recommendations and then the report from the personnel committee. It's kind of a good packet for us to hold on to and maybe refer back to occasionally during the year. All of us, this is part of our due diligence as board members. Thank you very, very much. We do have a couple, I just have to call on a couple of other committees. I don't think there's a lot. The policy committee, Dan, is there anything?
No report.
All righty, and the art committee, you will notice that Michelle Montour has been busy and we have a new display up, a new temporary art exhibit up in our atrium downstairs. So take a minute to look it over, and she did a great job as usual. So I've, it's a joy to see the changes every bit. But other than that, I don't have any information from her, and I don't have any sense. Is there anything we need to relate to her? Any issues that any of you have about art in our building? Okay, then we will say no report, no further report for that. We do have our usual business, which is our accounts payable. Where did I put mine? Here they are. It's to be, we have with our new system, our accounts payable is a bigger sheet, a little more substance to it. Again, with I will note, because I look over this stuff pretty regularly, coming in with check signing. With the demise or end of the booksellers that libraries have been using for so long, you will continually note in addition a bigger space for Amazon Capital Services because we are buying books that way now.
So does the new account, accounting software, is it able to take and this is kind of like by the day a little bit, can it take like what's spent on books and materials, with that down as a report? Because if it's coming from so many different, it's like you can't get a sense of what's being spent where that well with this kind of
That will be like the
and
report that Sharon provides to us, the
Sharon Duckworth.
Sharon Duckworth, that shows like the financial statement that shows like the budget, how much has been spent
okay,
out of that budget.
all right.
Yeah.
But you will know that books and materials end up almost whenever there's a check cut for Amazon Capital Services, a good portion of that is books and materials, as well as other kinds of supplies. And we do books and with the library network, as well as there's something else.
Where's Ingram? Or
The
started with Ingram yet?
The Ingram bills come through the library network.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all.
Well, it does take a little bit of time to digest. This is a much more comprehensive report that you have than what we used to have.
How many doormats, how many floor mats rather, did we get?
Oh, go ahead.
They come weekly to bring us new clean floor mats, so they take the old ones away and refresh the mats. So it's a service
did
that
not know
comes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all the mats that you see in the lobby area,
Yeah.
so in front of the checkout desk and in the entry coming into the building. Yeah.
That's kind of cool,
That's a
okay.
good service.
And I
Yeah.
fought for that and didn't get it, so.
Really?
I'm jealous.
Wow. So what, they just get tossed, they would just get tossed and then you get new ones?
Well, you know, the corners turn a
Mhm,
bit in a
mhm.
while, even when they get really good heavy ones, yeah. They just
So
get-
this
It
way,
could be an
Interesting.
so this
issue.
way that's their issue, their problem, not ours, so they, if it's. they
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
keep rotate them through, so we get,
One thing.
So
I
it's sort of like
complained-
So it's sort of like a subscription.
It's a subscription.
So does,
yeah.
okay, cool.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking those had to be some good mats.
Right, it comes up all the time.
So which was your point?
yeah.
Are these in red money that was refunded? to
That
us?
was, those were credits, yes.
Credits that came back to me. All from Amazon. Okay,
Make a
when,
motion to
okay.
approve accounts payable.
Okay, it has been moved.
I'll second that. Okay.
Moved by Chehevitz and supported by Priest that the board approve accounts payable for the month of December. questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay. The ayes have it. We have no dissenting votes and our accounts payable have been approved. And I really, it's, it's kind of wonkish kind of work, but it's really important that we all look at these and pay attention to what they are and talk them over so we understand that every time we come in to sign checks, that map thing that you asked about, Maria, it
Mhm.
seems so strange, but it's an important part. And yeah, when people don't spend the money on that, it can be a danger, actually.
Right, sounds like a safety issue to me.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue. So now we do move to the director's been working hard today, because she had to talk about a whole bunch of stuff as usual, but especially with the audit. But now the regular director report, it's time for that. So Mary Jo.
I don't even know where to begin talking about Alma, and I probably won't say too much because I'll probably start to cry. But, I forwarded you the information about her memorial service. It will take place this Friday, January 23rd at
Next Friday.
next Friday, sorry, January 23rd, at 11 a.m. at Triumph Church in Detroit. I remember Alma when we passed the bond in the millage for this library in 2016. She sat with us. I think we were at Twisted Rooster waiting for the election results, which didn't come and didn't come and didn't come. I think we ended up having to adjourn to the lobby of Van Buren Township Hall to wait for the final results until we found out, that we had been in passed, and she was with us every step of the way.
And that was before she was
And that was
on the
before
board.
I think that she was on the ballot that
Yeah, she
evening too,
was.
yeah. So she's just, I will miss her wisdom, her sense of empathy. She had very high emotional intelligence and just a really good library supporter, and I will miss her very much.
There is, I noticed on Facebook, there's a retired police.
Facebook page.
Facebook
Yeah,
post
that had
about her
comments
sergeant,
on her.
Sergeant Alma Hughes. Yeah. And the comments, I looked at comments in that and they were very similar. It's about her heart. She's just a truly sweet person.
Yeah,
And it seemed that people that had worked with her, that I saw comments, people that worked with her for 50, known her for 50 years and worked with her all.
I'm so glad she traveled a lot in recent years.
Yeah, it is a heavy-hearted
It is.
meeting that we're having today because she's been with us. I know Maria just was able to start with us, and she started with us at the time when Alan started having a little trouble and wasn't here quite as much. So Alan has been a very special person.
How do we replace a board member at this?
Well, aren't you clairvoyant? Because I was gonna kind of butt into, because I was thinking I was gonna do it a little later, but since we were just discussing Alma, I am not prepared for us to do anything today. I don't think we should. I think it's appropriate that we take our time and think about our friend and all, but we need to, Alma would not be on the ballot this year, but we do have an election coming this year, so we will have to place that vacancy on the ballot. We do have 4 seats on the ballot this year. Now we'll have 5, but we do have and Mary Jo will have to fix whatever. We do have the
But that would be a 2-year term.
that would
Yeah.
be for a 2-year term. We can, as a body, appoint a temporary member to serve. The election isn't until November, so it's the bulk of the year.
Let's serve out the remainder of the year.
Yeah. So that is an item that we as a board can decide. So one, we need to decide if we want to fill that vacancy. Is it
I looked at-
optional?
I looked at the district library law, and
Mhm.
it said you shall, not may or might, but
Oh,
shall.
we will. So it is
So-
not,
And
it's
it
not
would be by,
optional.
the board would vote on a replacement.
So we would not, like I said, we're not doing it tonight, but we would not just, we would need a process with regard to the placement. And is that a personnel committee item, or is that a ad hoc committee, or is that a committee of the whole? I guess that's what we could decide. When we want to do it, and we should do it soon. I don't want to do it today, but February or March, I'm guessing we should do it. And
So I would think probably ad hoc or bylaws maybe.
Yeah.
bylaws committee, Maria, would you be willing to help us just work through this short-term decision
Absolutely.
on what we might do? And then we would look at possible people to fill that, and we could ask for, we need to determine a process for people to decide, you know, the process for running for office, for getting on the ballot is already set, but the process is, do they, in the district libraries stuff, do they have a process lined up, Mary
No,
Jo?
that's,
So that's at our discretion, how we would.
the only thing it says is that the board votes on who they will appoint.
So we,
Could we have somebody write up like something that says they
we
wanna be on the
will,
board?
I think it would be appropriate by next meeting for us to have a sense of how we're gonna proceed. Maybe we don't wanna vote the person next meeting, since we haven't got it together what we're gonna do.
Do you want it to be the bylaws committee?
Can the bylaws committee take on this short-term goal? Is that something, or would you prefer that we move, that we
Yeah, I'm on the
appoint an
committee
ad
too,
hoc
so.
committee?
I would appreciate it if
Have a
there's some
meeting.
kind of, you know,
So the bylaws committee can have a meeting and try to.
decide how we might do it,
Yeah.
yeah. we could do
And the
that.
bylaws, I had asked, do I have a list of the current committee?
No, that's what I put that in my office.
Linda, who else is on that with you?
It was.
Just
it
you?
was- I think it was
I think
both of us.
Yeah.
Us?
Us.
Several of our committees are,
Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay.
several of our committees are just two people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
okay.
of our committees are
Okay.
just two people, and then I'm an ex officio on all of them.
On all
so
of
I
them,
can
right.
look over them, but if the two of you could just talk about a framework of how we move forward, and then we could, through the public, we need to, you know, let the public know that we're
I
doing
do have a
this.
question, because I wasn't here, but when the person who left the district, what was that process?
Well, then we
Appointed?
appointed you.
Exactly
back
right,
on.
yeah, so I didn't know if this is kind of similar to that.
Yeah, it says,
Mm.
that's what. I think
So
that's
are-
what you're saying,
so
the
are-
district law says that we have
You have to
to.
appoint somebody.
Yeah.
So are we putting out sort of a notice to the community?
Or we have also, I mean,
We have
we could
some-
consider that there have been some individuals, a few individuals who have shown interest in the board by coming to board meetings, and shown interest in potentially serving on the board in terms of their discussions with various of us.
Mhm.
So there is some level of awareness of a few people now. We don't have a regulation, there's not a regulation saying how we would have to fill. We did not go to some public,
Right.
when the vacancy for Barbara Gates came up, we did not go through a big public process.
We draw from Friends of the Library sometimes too.
Yeah, we have drawn on,
Mhm.
that time we were very happy to bring Tanya back.
Yes.
So I think maybe committee might think a little bit of how we want to do this.
And we need
Comes-
to do it quickly, yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to, I'm ex officio anyway, but I'd like to be
Yeah.
involved in the discussion.
And
And-
making it as a large or process rather than a narrow process would be, I would kind of go against that, just because
thank
we
you.
want to
Yeah,
replace
I
thank you.
agree.
this,
And I like the way you guys brought me back. I mean, can
we know somebody,
you know
I-
somebody who
that
might
would
be
be nice.
interested?
Well, and we've had,
And
as
we
I
have
said,
people
we've
who have
had
shown
people who have
interest, yes.
come to
Right.
these meetings and talked to either members of the board or the director indicating their interest already. So we do have a little bit of a pool
Mhm.
of people, and that might be our better bet.
Mhm.
Because the ballot is an open process, and the
Yeah.
entire public is notified then and all
Yeah.
of that, but we don't have a whole lot of time to
No.
do this, to
Right.
get somebody on in order for them to have, to have at least 6 months to serve with us.
So just so I'm clear, Sharon, is the goal to have someone in place by next meeting or by March, in the best case scenario?
It seems more realistic March,
March,
doesn't it?
Mhm. Okay, that's what I
Very,
figured.
Because
very
you
difficult.
need a little bit of time to get it together, and then we have to discuss it. Good, I wanted to ask that question, so, see, you do have, public does have some input here.
I shouldn't have butted in.
That's
Wow,
okay.
that's just you butted in right in
No,
time.
that's
Couldn't help
something we
yourself.
needed to talk about.
I had written it down, I was gonna talk about it after the director's report, but it really fit with what
Mhm,
Mary Jo was
mhm.
talking to us about.
Okay, and continue to be a bearer of bad news. The librarian of Michigan, Randy Riley, passed away. It was a big deal in the library world. That position is an appointed position and it does not always go to an actual librarian. This time it did. He had started in 2014. He died very suddenly and unexpectedly.
Mm.
And he was just a great,
He's a really
he was a
good
really
force.
good force. He attended our open house when we had our grand opening, delayed grand opening. He was here last spring when the president of the ALA came to our library to speak.
Mhm.
So it's just a really good person. So it was, that was kind of a stunner. Yeah, health insurance, United Healthcare never settled with Cornwall, so I'm glad that we took the action we took. We have switched over to Health Alliance Plan now. So that did take place, that happened. Your packs are a lot thicker, not just because of the audit, but because we ramped up all of our programming for January and beginning of February, so we've got lots of flyers for lots of programs. We've got a team craft club that we've been holding that resumes at the end of January.
That's great.
Got some gardening program coming up, so even though it's the dead of winter right now, spring will be here before you know it. History of Michigan shipwrecks,
We've got some Mackinac.
so we've got a lot going on.
I remember when there was, we were lucky if we had an adult program once a month, and it
I
was
know.
all done by the
Friends,
friends.
I know. Thanks for bringing up the Friends. We do appreciate them because they do actually fund a lot of our programs. The Friends will be having their annual meeting Saturday, January 31st at 11 a.m. You are invited and more than welcome to attend. It'd be great if some of you could come and hear what they've done this last year. They're
It's always
going to
important.
use this as an opportunity to celebrate their volunteers. So
Yeah.
it's a good time to thank them.
And it's great when we have a good bond between the board and the Friends, and several of our board members have served on the Friends, or were Friends prior to running for this board.
Mary Jo, how is use of the branch?
It's steady. It's flatline, but it's steady.
Are there any days
I'm
when
not
there's nobody there?
I'm sure there have been. There's usually somebody with them. No,
Okay.
we have a regular, I think it comes almost every day.
Well, good.
That person.
Who's that Mackinac program? Mhm.
January 26th. That's 6:30.
Hmm.
See another jazz
Another jazz program will be coming
program on
up.
the
yeah.
calendar,
Mhm.
so that's
It's
good.
9 o'clock. Oh, we got
Yeah.
a lot of business to do.
Yeah, so I'm done with my report unless anybody has questions.
Hmm.
Which jazz group is coming?
But good. I think it's a threesome, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the name,
Okay.
but I've seen it.
I've seen it, but it's been here before, right? Okay.
It's not that
I've probably
Philip
seen it.
Hall.
I'd have to look at that. That's okay. I've probably seen them, but I was wanting to see them again.
Yeah, the jazz times. It was always all of them have been good. Good. Are there any further questions to our director? We again should have a very thorough report and a sad one, opening on a sad note. Oh, this
Oh,
here,
you're
here
having
it is.
Jean and Cheryl. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
They've been doing genealogy programs. Cheryl, Black, African American genealogy for so many years. And now they do it via Zoom third Saturdays. Gina's on the BADL board.
I point out
She's
to
a
people,
friend.
on a different note, you might point out to people that we are giving support to people trying to start small businesses. And that's tomorrow, right? Yeah.
And those are Zooms.
Okay. We've got a lot going on. Well, thank you. We, as usual, thank you. Are there any further questions on the director's report? Then we now move to our trustee reports or our trustee comments. And who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Good.
In keeping with the conversation about Alma, I didn't have the opportunity to get to know her, the way that all of you did, so from me to all of you, I wanted to express my sincere condolences to all of you. It's a great loss.
It's to the community. Thank you. I have a feeling we're gonna have a theme in our, I can't imagine many of us aren't gonna wanna talk about that.
I think I'll just follow right along with that. I only met Alma when I first started on the committee here, and she was always very warm, very easy to talk to. And I really enjoyed her sense of travel because there was some trips that I was taking and she was always so helpful and so quick to offer some guidance and some help. And quite honestly, it was always nice to see her. She's always upbeat, easy to talk to, and kind of comes as a shock that she's passed away. So a lot. Yeah, I think her guidance and her wisdom certainly helped us push through some issues here. So I don't know what else to say. Than I just it's sad.
I remember when she had us at the board at her house.
That's what I was.
And what a lovely.
That's the only
hostess
time we've
she
ever,
was.
yeah, she brought the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
group together.
she did, and she's very, very nice. I mean, great food, great conversation, and
She can have the extra sangria too.
It was a lovely atmosphere and
Yeah.
we were able to interact just on a social level because it
Yeah.
was, there were no agenda and no actual action and,
We met as friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and it kind of, I was thinking the same thing because it kind of
Yeah.
describes Alma. She'd be the person to bring the people together.
Mhm.
Joy,
Oh.
tears. I feel you.
Mhm.
Tanya, well, Tanya, I want to tell all of you, we owe Tanya some thanks because in Alma's last weeks and months, it was hard to be in touch with her. She was ill enough that she wasn't able to reach back to us, and Tanya used her network of people and her connections in Detroit and was able to find out some information for us to know what was going on.
Just get her text that morning.
There you go.
Sharon called me.
That, give it, you know, to Joy.
It was rough because, so I met Alma on the board. And, she would travel and she was like, oh, we gotta do something together. And you always think, you'll have an
Yeah.
opportunity.
There's always tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
Tomorrow is
Just
good.
really hate that.
Yeah.
We just didn't get a chance to do the things we wanted to do together.
Right.
Because I thought I had more time.
How I found out about it is that,
Yeah, you told me.
yeah, Donna, who's
Donna Laven.
called me and said, do you know what happened to Alma? And I said, why? And she said, because her husband plays pickleball with somebody in the neighborhood and they told him that there was a rest in peace sign on her lawn.
And that
That's
was,
how I found out.
yeah, the day that Tanya called me and found out from the coworker, her family member, that she had passed. And, Mary Jo and I talked and we called all of you, and that was the first thing Linda said. So I said, I'm so glad that you were able to tell us that, because
I just
to
didn't want it to be
find out
true.
by driving
I
down the
didn't
street and
either.
seeing a rest in peace sign on her front yard,
And
I think that would have been
I
more
still
than I
didn't
could
believe
take.
it really until I got here and you're saying like, oh, there's stuff on Facebook and there's a memorial. I'm like, oh my God, it really is true. I mean, you still just don't want to believe it. Like, okay,
No.
maybe somebody was mistaken.
Well, the only thing I want to say is about her valiant fight, and at the last meeting that she came to, because I would check with her before all the meetings, and I do live over in the general area where she lives, and I said, well, Alma, I can come and pick you up. Oh, no, I think I can make it, I can do it. And every time she came, she was not just gonna come to the meeting, she was gonna do her work as a secretary. She's very determined, and then I do have a chance to look at Facebook and they figure out, the algorithms figure out who you know well, and she's my friend on Facebook too, so the comments, as I already mentioned, from colleagues that she had in her career, and then, she was keeping that business going, the polygraph business going, that she kept going even during her fight. She showed so much spunk, but she had so much fight. And there's one thing that I would like to say, I guess it's business, but I would think that we as a board would want to provide something to the funeral home, to the flowers or something, send flowers. That, I'd like to bring that up while we're together and make sure that that works for everyone. She was, and perhaps well, I'm glad that Rosemary's here, but she has served this community as well as, and I'm sure that people at her services will be talking mostly about her career as a sergeant and police officer, and one of my neighbors served with the Detroit police with her, so people around know about that, but her service to us, I'd like us to acknowledge visually if we could, and I would imagine it's appropriate for all of us. So we just this morning, or was it yesterday, just found out, and that was through Facebook, that
This morning, yeah.
we were able to really get the information about where.
Because I hadn't
when.
even heard yet.
No, and they posted it on her Facebook page. So that was where I was able to find it out, and Mary Jo had been calling or looking every day for it. If I'm able to find out something before Mary Jo, the librarian. So, but Facebook is becoming more and more the way, but then that is a way to communicate with all her friends, so she's already put them together on that. It's a week from this Friday, and we might individually, come together, and maybe we're gonna drive into Detroit. Several of us might be able to go. I know some people won't be able to go because of work, but I am planning to, and those.
And I am planning to.
Well, those of us who can may want to go
I
together.
will be out of town, unfortunately.
Well, we will represent you.
Please do. Please do.
And yeah, it's been a hard first week. Every single Friday of this month remaining, I have a funeral to go to for somebody who's close to us. And, but I think the hardest on me was Alma. And I don't know, there's nothing else significant that I could think of to say. I think it's important that we all express what we feel like, and the box of tissues kind of represents how we feel, we will miss her. We will miss her, and she will not be forgotten, and we will work next month and quickly to talk about how to fill out our board. But I thank you all. We've had a long meeting tonight, but we got a lot done, and kind of a heavy-hearted meeting. But maybe it's time for Dan.
So, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, a second. It's been moved by Fleming and supported by Jackson Smith that this meeting be adjourned. Supported all the way around. This meeting is.